Hey guys, how's it going? I am here on a dirty hair, very humid Sunday with kind of a surprise. It's not that much of a surprise, but our friends came this weekend and left this morning, and they brought as a gift a blueberry bush. I'm so excited. I actually really love blueberries, and I think blueberries and raspberries are bushes that are perennials that are like a serious time commitment in terms of like years to get really, to get really productive. So it's probably not something I would have ever got for myself, but it forced me to do some research, and you can actually grow berries like this in pots, which I didn't know. So this guy will live in a pot for a couple of years. We're currently in a rental. This guy will live in a pot until we move into a more permanent house, and then he will go be in a permanent place, which is really cool. So this variety is called powder blue, and something I didn't know about blueberries that I did a little bit of research on is it's actually best to have multiple blueberry plants to get maximum pollination so that you can get maximum yield on your blueberries. So what I did was I went to the store and I bought another blueberry plant. And on the back of this label is a list of blueberry varieties that you can get that will do well with the one that you bought. So one of them is called Tiff Blue. And so the way they were selling them at the store, where they were selling them in 2-packs. So I went from 0 blueberry bushes to now 3 blueberry bushes, all in a matter of a couple days. So we're gonna plant up this one in this big pot because it's a bigger one, and then the smaller ones are going to be in smaller terracotta pots. So these guys, one of them is a Tiff Blue, and one of them is what's called a Jersey. So we are going to get these ready. Now, from what I understand, you have to soak the roots. So I have a bucket of water somewhere, a big bucket of water, and I've never done this before, so we're gonna do this all together for the first time hopefully without ruining the plant. Do you soak it with the paper on it? I'm so confused. This is how it comes out. Oh my. Alright. So all of the dirt has fallen off. And we're now down to this. So those are the roots. You can see those. And I poured way too much water. Okay. Got a lot less water now. So I guess we're just gonna stick this little thing into the water. Just stand it up. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do for the small ones. The big one, I don't think I have to do that with. That was the Tiff Blue, this is the Jersey, and so this one is slightly more developed, I guess. And I just bought 10-inch pots, so these, I think from the research that I did, you don't want to up-pot the blueberries too much. Like, you don't want to give them so much room that they don't know what to do with, because they grow pretty slow. Blueberries take, from what I understand, they take anywhere from like, it can even be like years to get to their full size, like years. So, interesting. Not as much dirt just fell off of this one. What I'm finding about gardening is berries in general, it's gonna be a couple of years before you actually get anything. Oh my god, there's ambulance, fire truck. Okay, So we're just gonna roll with it, it's fine. So blueberries usually don't produce in the first year, and they're not gonna produce that much even in the second year, but blueberries take up to 8 to 10 years to reach their like full size, full maturity. Not saying it's gonna take that long to get berries out of it, but it's a lot similar to the strawberries that I planted. The strawberries, I might get a couple this year, but really next year is gonna be when I get like a good harvest of strawberries. So this is one of those things that you plant with the future in mind, but I am pumped. So we're gonna let these roots soak a little bit. And I got an organic potting mix. Now something with blueberries is they do need a little bit more of an acidic potting mix. I couldn't really get that today. So I'll be using acidic amendments. Not 100% sure what that means yet, but I'll figure it out. While the two smaller ones' roots are soaking, because that seems important to do, I'm gonna go ahead and repot the big one. Okay guys, so here's the trio of blueberries. These are obviously a lot smaller. This one's much larger, but I'm excited to see how they grow. And a few other things have been happening around the garden this weekend. I planted out the bed behind me with all of my herbs. Not all, some. So I put back there regular basil, cinnamon basil, marjoram, chamomile, lemon balm is the other one I put back there. So we'll see how those do. Our last frost date is actually tomorrow. I'm pretty pumped. But we won't start really planting things out like tomatoes and all that stuff until probably like in the next couple of weeks. So that's when all that stuff will start happening, but I'm really pumped. It's starting to get warm. It's like super humid here today. I think it's like 80 degrees and very humid. But it's all kind of coming together. I think I'm gonna have to pull some of my garlic. I think some of it did die, but that's okay. I think I'm still gonna get a little bit of garlic. And all of my seedlings are officially outside full-time. Well, all of my tomato and tomatillo and flower seedlings are officially outside full-time unless it gets really cold at night. So like we have a few nights that are gonna be below 50. I'll probably pull everything in on those nights and then pull everything back out once it gets over 50, because I want these seedlings to get as much exposure to the outside as possible. So this was our unexpected project this weekend of blueberries. I'm really excited. It's my first, other than my strawberries, this is my first kind of like bush berry experience. And yeah, I'll see you guys later this week. Hey guys, it is Monday? It's Monday. I just brought all of my tomato seedlings in because I knew it was over 50 degrees today, but then I went out to walk our dogs and it was like cold. I had on a sweatshirt and like pants and shoes and socks and I was cold. And then I looked at the wind chill and the wind chill is 46 degrees. No bueno for the tomatoes. So I just very rushedly moved in all my tomatoes. I think they're fine. Some of them look interesting. Like some of them just like have like some wilted leaves and I can't really tell if it's from them being out when it was kind of a little too cold for them to be out or if it's just like general like leaf fall, who knows. But the funny thing is we are like entering prime spring planting territory, but tonight, tomorrow night, and Wednesday night, it is too cold for these seedlings to live outside. So they're coming back in the house, which means my seedling shelf is all of a sudden very full again. I was really looking forward to it not being as full. But it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. So the funny thing is our last frost date is actually today. For Zone 8B. So yesterday when I was at Home Depot, there was a ton of people buying like full garden setups and tomato plants and squash plants and like all these plants. And they'll probably live, it's not gonna freeze,
but they're not really gonna thrive being outside in that weather. At least not in our zone. They might in other zones, but in our zone, it's still too cold. So we just brought in all the little seed babies. But the one thing that I've noticed that they've gotten a lot better about is their stems. So tomatoes and most plants, you don't really have much like wind in your house. So it's really good for them to get outside and develop some really nice thick stems, because that's what's going to keep them really, really sturdy. So that is one thing I noticed while I was bringing them in. And as I'm bringing them in, I'm actually trimming off any like bottom leaves that don't look very healthy. So like this plant, like this leaf is just looking pretty rough. So I might just like take these top two off, because I'll end up planting this tomato super deep anyway. So that's kind of what's going on right now. And yeah, we'll keep the tomatoes inside until probably Thursday, and then we'll haul them all back outside and hope that they can live out there forever until I can plant them and get them out of my bedroom. So that's all I got today. Hey guys, so today we are going to do a quick plant of some African crackerjack marigolds that desperately need to be planted. This bed that we're looking at right now, this will actually be the heirloom tomato bed. That's all that will be in here. And so the way I'm actually planning on planting this is each one of these fences is 4 feet wide, and then it's 3 feet in depth. So I'm thinking I actually might try and fit 4 plants in one 4-foot space. So if I think about where my tomatoes are going to be, I'm probably going to have one right here. I'm probably going to have, this thing is about 12 inches. We'll have another one right here. And then we'll have one right here. And then one right here. So marigolds are very good companion plants for tomatoes because they help keep away pests. And so we're going to just plant marigolds in the middle of each of these, kind of in a square. The middle of this won't probably get any sun because of everything else going on, but that's where we're going to plant our marigolds. That's what you want to see. Okay, so we've got a third of our marigolds planted. So I have a little bit of extra time. That didn't take me as long as I thought it was going to. So I wanted to grab a few more flower seeds to just plant out the rest of where the flowers are going to go in here. We can just go ahead and plant the seeds, and it's going to be warm enough over the next week or so that they should germinate pretty well. So that was the crackerjack blend. Okay, so these are the other 2 marigolds I was going to try. This one is a Bambino marigold. It's really pretty. And then this one is an orange flame marigold. And then the third one that I'll have, not that it's really that much even about, not that much about design, but this is the crackerjack marigold that we just planted. So I really kind of just for like the color's sake, I just wanted to keep them all orange. In this bed, I'm very much like, I like having a pattern but not having everything necessarily the same exactly. I remember the first time I ever planted marigolds, I thought that I actually got duped on Amazon. This was before I really knew that much about buying seeds. I thought I got duped because of what came. So these are marigold seeds. So these usually have a pretty good germination rate. I'll literally put like one of these tiny little hair looking things. I will put like 1 or 2 of these in the spot and then water them in. So I'm gonna go plant those really quickly. These are like the very small garden projects that I do sometimes when I have like a 15-minute break from work, or I just need to like step away from my computer. So yeah, you know, working full-time, gardening, that's why you're here. Hey guys, how's it going? It is Wednesday. I just got back from my community plot. I didn't take you there with me because the sun was blaring, and honestly all I did was pick up all of my dead plants and put them in bags and bring them home to throw them away here. We don't have a service that picks that stuff up at the garden, so we have to bring everything home. Lana, leave that alone. But while I was there, I picked a nice bowl full of Bloomsdale spinach. And I haven't actually tried it yet, so I thought I would try it for you guys. Lana's very keen on trying it. But it's good. It's not too sweet. Because our days are getting a lot warmer, so that's the thing with greens like lettuces. They really grow the best when it's a little cold outside. Right now, it's not a little cold outside here. So this is really good. This will be really nice, like in a salad or whatever. Let's see. Let's find one of the ratty leaves. There's some that just have like some insect damage. Not a big deal. You can definitely still eat it, but some people just don't like the way it looks. Let's see what Lana thinks. Can you please do a sit for me? Wow, that's such a nice sit. What do you think about spinach? Spinach is safe for dogs to eat, by the way. Just not a ton of it. No? I don't have anything better for you. I'm so sorry. R.I.P. Cooper, do you want to try the spinach? Cooper! Would you like to try that? Okay, yeah, he doesn't usually do well with leafy things. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so good. Oh God. It's falling all over the ground. Oh, I think he ate most of it. Lana, do you want to try it since your brother showed you how delicious it was? Yeah, give it another try. No. It's just my caveat. Please always Google it before you give your dog something out of the garden. Every time. Every time. Sometimes I do it even with things that I'm pretty sure. So just be safe. Today is the last day of this week's vlog, and I am moving all the tomato and tomatillo seedlings outside permanently. I'm hoping for no more cold snaps before they get planted. But part of what we're doing today is we're gonna take weaker seedlings like this guy. He's very sad looking compared to the rest of them. And this is a beefsteak, so this really should be just as vigorous as the rest of them. We're gonna replant these guys. I happen to get some other soil from when I planted the blueberries. And so I think these guys just need better soil that holds the moisture better, I think is the thing. And we're also gonna fertilize them just to give them a little extra boost, because I do really want some really good, healthy beefsteak plants, even though I have a million plants. I just want some really healthy beefsteaks, and I've noticed that like all of them kind of look puny like this. So yeah, we're gonna replant some that are struggling. Also my Rutgers are struggling. So I'm gonna put these guys on the table so we can get them repotted with the proper soil. And if you missed that, I talked about that last week on my vlog. Actually discovered that I tried to like reuse seed starting mix to pot my tomatoes and stuff, and not my best move. So lesson learned, use a potting mix or some kind of mix that's going to really just retain a lot of moisture, because I think that's a lot of what was wrong with this guy. He just looks sad. I don't know how else to describe it. Hey y'all, I'm sitting here with my problem seedlings, and there's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There's 14 of them that have not done as well as the others, and I'm definitely seeing some trends on the ones that have not done as well. Some of them are like one-offs, like this, maybe not, beefsteak. So like one of the ones I would consider a one-off is these are 2 of the large cherry tomato, kind of like your standard cherry tomatoes. These have not done super well, but I have 2 that have completely just killed it. But like what I am noticing is like I think pretty much all of my Paul Robesons, those are Paul Robesons, these are Rutgers, these are beefsteaks. Here's another beefsteak. This is a yellow brandy wine. Oh, okay, so all of my Rutgers didn't do super great. It looks like all of my beefsteaks didn't do super great. This is a yellow brandy wine, and then these are both red pear tomatoes. So yeah, definitely some trends. I'll have to do some research. I know my Rutgers seeds were a little bit old, and Paul Robeson is more of an heirloom variety, so I might just need to do a little bit of research into those varieties and see if they need something different. But we're just going to basically repot them with a much better potting mix, and then we're going to give them a little bit of fertilizer. This is the Fox Farm Grow Big fertilizer. I used this last year, and it works really well. It's not considered organic, but I feel like this is a lot better than a lot of other stuff I could be using. So I really just only use this to fertilize my seedlings. Once my plants are actually in the ground, I'll use compost and different things like that to fertilize. And if you amend your soil properly, then there's really not much need for fertilizer in general. So that is kind of what's going on there. So I have 14 plants to kind of repot. And honestly, I might be able to even get them a little deeper than what they are now, and we'll see how they do. I'm supposed to be sharing some of these plants with my mother, who's coming to help me plant out my spring garden here in 10 days. So I need some of these plants to start looking a little healthier. I want to show you what I'm doing. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see, but these are all tomato roots. What I'm doing is I'm very gently trying to coax as much of the old potting mix as I can off of the roots without completely demolishing the roots. So usually it's pretty easy. It'll kind of just all fall away. Maybe give it like a little shake, and there you go. So that's probably as much as I'll go, and then we will put this here. One of my neighbors decided to move. Lovely. And if this is the first video you're seeing, make sure you go back and look at last week's vlog if you're really confused as to why I'm repotting these seedlings that have already been repotted. We talk a lot about the different soils and things like that in last week, so I'll put a card so you can see that. Okay, so now that we got all of these repotted, we are going to give them a little bit of liquid fertilizer. You honestly don't want to overdo it. I've got like 3 gallons of water over here, and I'm going to be fishing out the water with a measuring cup. So general feeding is 2 to 3 teaspoons per gallon of water. So since I have 3 gallons of water, I'm just gonna do 2 cupfuls, and that should be plenty, and we'll see if we can get these guys to make a comeback. So I do of course have some opinions about fertilizer. I have gone both like the compost route as well as the what they would call something like this a synthetic. I've gone both routes, and the biggest difference I've noticed is when I use a compost, if you didn't make that compost yourself, you don't really know what's in it. And the biggest issue you can have with your compost is it having weed seeds. So last summer, I had a really big issue with, I used a compost that I didn't make myself, and I had the worst like crabgrass everywhere. So that was obviously a pain to have to like dig all that out and pull it all the time, and eventually it just kind of got the better of me, if I'm being honest, and it just completely, it was just a mess. I think I ended up just leaving my garden to the weeds and the insects for probably a month. Like, I just felt so completely defeated by it, and it was really sad. But this year we're not going to make that happen. I have decided this year I'm going to be a lot more preventative and more proactive rather than reactive to my problems that I had last year. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm going to I put these in a tray, by the way, so they're going to go out. That I'm really hoping pull through really are all of them, but the Paul Robeson I'm really excited about, because those are supposed to be like taste test competition winning, and cooking is a lot of why I garden. I love gardening just for the like, you know, therapeutic parts of it, but really for me it's the cooking. And every year I try and give myself what I call a culinary goal, and last year my culinary goal was to make my own marinara sauce for Pizza Fridays, which we do Pizza Friday in our house. This year my culinary goal is to learn how to make enchilada sauce. So that's why I really heavy upped on my peppers this year, because I really want to make my own like enchilada sauce and pepper sauces, because we really like to make and eat Mexican food in this house. So these are pretty much watered. I'm gonna just leave them in the fertilizer water until they soak it all up, especially because I'm starting to leave them outside. All right, y'all, I think that pretty much does it for me on the vlog this week. We did a lot. Planted blueberries, took care of seedlings, but the next couple of weeks are going to be really crucial. Next week, we will be talking a lot about soil amendments. I have to amend my community bed, which last year I did a bit of an experiment, which I'll talk about in the video. And so I kind of know the direction I want to go this year with amending my soil. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll also talk about how and if I'm going to amend these beds, because not that much actually grew here in the fall because of where the sun ended up. So I'm going to be talking a lot about dirt next week, and then also next weekend, not this weekend but next weekend, is when we will start planting out all of these things. And my mom's going to be here. She probably won't be on the vlog. I doubt that's something that she would want, but I'll be showing you how to plant out tomatoes and peppers and all of these plants that we've been kind of watching go through their life cycle. So next couple of weeks are going to be super exciting, and by the March garden tour, which I'll probably put out probably like third week of March once everything is planted, that's when we'll be able to see everything that we're going to be growing. So I really appreciate you guys joining me on this journey so far. It is week 9. We're going to do week 10 next week, and we're doing it. We're going to do this for 52 weeks, guys. I'm also at almost 200 subscribers, so if you want to follow along in this year of gardening journey with me, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment if you have any questions. We've got some really good discussions going on in the comment section, which I always really enjoy. So that's my shameless plug at the end of my video. Happy gardening, and we will see you next week. Bye.